So, welcome to the return of YG's breakdown. Now, I don't plan on making this one long, because really all I want to cover is the goals that we conceded, right? So, let's get into it. So, as you can see here, we've got a Brighton player that has the ball, and he's about to launch it down to Mitoma, that's now on our right-hand side. You know, the right-hand side as to where he switched to, because you know, he knew that Kieran Tierney is a proper left-back. You know what I mean? Had we have played Zinchenko at left-back in this game, as we usually would do otherwise without injury, Mitoma would have stayed on that side. He would have occupied that side a lot more. But, you know, let's get into it anyway. So we've got Ben White running for the ball. Got Mitoma running for the ball. I think Mitoma actually does always play on the left, to be honest, but he was on the right-hand side. In this game, he was occupying the side that Kieran Tierney defends. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyways, as you can see, Benjamin White running for the ball, Mitoma running for the ball. A bit of a recipe for disaster, in my personal opinion. Got Kiwior there, Gabriel there, getting back. Let's go. Let's see what happens after this. So as you can see here, to be honest, Ben White doesn't look prepared. Mitoma could easily have just launched himself that way, and Ben White wouldn't be able to turn in time. You know what I mean? He's only just getting his feet together at this point, but Mitoma is in a far better position to just launch himself away. He's on his toes, right? Obviously, Benjamin White is on his toes as well, but you know, there's a bit of a look of naivety from Benjamin White, to be fair. And obviously, you can see how cautious he is. You know what I mean? You can see how cautious he is. Because Mitoma's got speed. He can even go that way. He can even go that way. Might even go through your legs if you want to. You know what I mean? It's a worrying combination at this point. Damn! So Mitoma has now committed himself to then now going that way. And you look at Ben White's position. You look at his body shape now. You know what I mean? He's on his heels to the ground there. So even though his left toe, even though his left foot is on his toes, right? He ain't in a position where he can just dash himself back that way, because Mitoma's gonna drive that way. So it's gonna be hard for him now. As you can see, now he has to turn himself back to go this way, because Mitoma is gone. Got him! And you've got 1, 2, 3 Brighton players in the box, where we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Arsenal players inside that box. Damn! And this almost led to a goal. So as you can see, he's in the box. Now all he has to do is get this ball across to see who's going to get it. You know what I mean? I think this is it's Jorginho there. He's had to come in and try and cover now, because Ben White's been done. You know what I mean? Look at the threat. But we've got enough bodies in this box to deal with this. Now you look here, the ball's here, fizzing across goal. It's now fizzed across. Got a Brighton player waiting there, and obviously you've got one right there that Gabriel's guarding. Thankfully, on this part, this player fluffs the ball and it goes over. But realistically, he's got an empty net basically to tap it into. I thought that they were going to score from that. As soon as I saw that ball go across the box, I thought, here we go. You know what I mean? Excuse the noise, because I'm parked next to another refrigerated truck. But it's a total shambles. Crying to me, and I'm not having it. As you can see here, this is when the ball fizzed across. I think Ramsdale did get a fingertip to it, and this player, who actually does end up scoring later on, you know, he had all that to put it in. But fortunately for us, he put it over at that point. At this point, we had a chance to go in front. Saka, you know, he kind of teared up the ball, kind of like how Reece Nelson did against Bournemouth before he volleyed it in. It was kind of in a similar manner, but look how many bodies are there for Brighton. You know what I mean? In front of his direction to try and score. Brighton had a game plan and it worked for him. As you can see here, ball's about to fizz across. I think the goalkeeper may have got a hand to it, maybe, or I don't know. Maybe not. No, I think if it was on target, I think it would have just gone in. Just got in the bottom corner. But so close, unfortunate. Again, Mitoma, Ben White can't handle him. Ben White can't handle him. Now Mitoma's got options. Well, he could either sort something out with this player here, maybe try his luck with that player there, even though there's two Arsenal defenders around him, or this player here that's running down. So he's just reverse passed it to this player here. As you can see, Ben White, he's not in a position to quickly turn around because the job's already been done now. Mitoma's done his job. I've passed the ball there. Now you go get overlap here across.
Gotcha, bitch!
I mean, he's just not good enough. So this is how Brighton got their goal. So this player has now crossed this ball. Kieran Tierney here does his best to try and get this ball out. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful. Now Kieran Tierney's headed the ball, but this player is now getting this ball back because Tierney's poor header. You know what I mean? Now this player has now hit the ball into the floor, which is going to ricochet up. This is the goal scorer here that heads it into the back of the net, 1-0. All falling asleep, and I think that's Kiwior on the floor there, because he tried to make a meal out of his foot being stepped on. Something about his boot or something like that.
Stop the cap.
And it's like you've got the goal scorer that's right here. Players are stopping because they're raising their hands now. Everyone just switched off at this point. Everyone just switched off. Ball watching. Ramsdale's there like, fam. Let me just bring it back. So as Kieran Tierney's tried to header that ball as much as he can, Kiwior is down on the floor now. You've got the goal scorer right here. Absolute shambolic. It's absolute shambles that you know, this is what's happening now. Players are trying to make a meal out of anything now. You know what I mean? We've seen decisions that we should have got that we didn't get, right? And now when you add on top of that we're trying to make a meal out of anything now, it's going to go against our reputation. And now anytime we go down, it's not going to be believed. And then we're going to have to pray that VAR looks at some shit. So the ball's in the back of the net. Kiwior is down. Doing what the fuck he's doing. Not good enough. He even said that he thought that basically the refs would look at it. He even said that, something along them lines. Absolute bullshit.
Crying to me and I'm not.
So from this angle, Kiwior on the ground. This is a player that volleys the ball into the ground, which comes onto that, comes right, perfect for this player to head it into the back of the net. Everyone switched off at that point. Why would you try and play a dangerous game like that? Go down in the box and hope the ref says something. This is a very dangerous place to try and do that. You don't do it when the team is on the brink of scoring. I don't know what's being said, right? But this shit needs to stop. Where we think that we can just rely on referees, VAR, whatever, because we want to make a meal out of shit instead of just getting on with it like grown men. Because this is something that Kiwior didn't need to go down. He could just got on with it, but he was hoping that we get bailed out by the referees. Ultimately, that cost us. See? This was Kiwior's man, really. Gabriel's with his. You could say Kieran Tierney, but he already headed that ball out, and then he's trying to close it down. Kiwior was already on this guy before then.
Damn!
Bullshit. And you know what? Reece Nelson did try and do some shit. He did try and do something in this game. Out of all the players, you know, he tried. He cuts in on his right foot and just puts it wide, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Keeper didn't even get a hand to that. But unfortunately it goes wide. If it was more of a curled shot, it would have bent after his hand and possibly gone into that corner. Maybe the keeper gets his hand onto it. If it was a curled, kind of ground curled swerve, you know, shot or something. But it was more direct, so it had no swerve to it. But he tried. Now, here's where we concede the second goal. Now, this is what I was saying in my match reaction about the, you know, Brighton play the whole get tight, keep tight and get rough, right? Ramsdale's just passed this ball to Trossard, right? Trossard tries to then first time flick it that way. But there's a player that you cannot see yet that's going to come and intercept that ball, and it's going to ricochet to this player, which is then he's going to put it in the back of the net. As you can see now, this player's here. Trossard is aiming to just flick it that way. But this player, it hits this player and ricochets into the path for this player. How ironic. Trossard forces a move out of Brighton, and then he gives them a goal that's surely going to make them win the game, even, you know, because Brighton have been better all this game. So as you can see, the ball's ricocheted. This player is now like, yes. So now he's going to now take the ball, go this way, hit it over the keeper. 2-0. Everything just went slow at this point. Even the commentators thought he was offside. As you can see, Ramsdale couldn't get the ball. Too late. Too late. Gabriel ain't going to get there quick enough. 2-0. So again, from this angle, this is where Trossard tries to flick the ball this way, but it ends up hitting that player, which then goes into the path of this player. This is where the contact's made. Comes off the player's knee. The player's clearly onside. Because look. look at that. You know what I mean? I don't even need this line here. You know what I mean? You've got Gabriel that's all the way down here. Pretty much level with the keeper at this point. Gabriel didn't run fast enough to try and possibly intercept that ball that's going to get chipped over Ramsdale. Because you see, none of the players expected that. They didn't expect to have to then come back after, you know, the ball was with the keeper. But you see, if Ramsdale had hoofed the motherfucker up the pitch, we wouldn't have had that problem. Now, this is my first time watching this highlight back, because when I watched the game originally, before the third goal went in, I actually went to the toilet in the bar. And when I came back, I saw the ball go in for 3-0. So I'm assuming this was a shot that was taken by this player. I don't know if it was McAllister or whoever. And I'm assuming Ramsdale then parries it for this player to then hit the ball in. Because what I saw was this player hit the ball in. But this player is allowed to have the space, enough of it, to shoot.
Damn!
Yeah, so this is where the player then hits the ball in. Ramsdale saved it. Now all he has to do is hit him. 3-0. And these last two goals was in like the last few minutes. Absolute shambles. Absolute shambles.
Crying to me and I'm not.
There you go. Ball's about to go in the back of the net. 3-0. Absolute shambles. Getting beat at home again to Brighton.
Damn!
These players ought to be ashamed. Ought to be ashamed of themselves. Not good enough. Not good enough. Anyways, I'm done with this. Like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.